Today I've got another product review for you, and it is quite a niche product, I will say, but it is a very interesting product. Thanks, Erin. You do realise that no one's going to be able to see me now.
I'm really not seeing the issue here.
I guess I probably deserve that. What we're going to do is we'll start with an unboxing. And let me just move these lovely Constant Geekery mugs out of the way. If you want to get yourself a Constant Geekery mug, it's shop.constantgeekery.com. Everything tastes better from a Constant Geekery mug. Let's have a look at the product itself. I have to say the packaging is nice and very large. And we'll have some B-roll going on because I'm going to make a complete mess of this, I'm sure. So inside the box, the first thing that's coming out is a nice mat, which I assume is what we place everything on. We have got an envelope, which I assume contains a book of instructions. My goodness, there's a lot of things in here. Let's get the main event out. This looks absolutely epic. Look at that. We have a button, presumably for taking your scan. We've got a power adapter. Not sure what this is. Okay, I'm guessing that's a foot switch. I guess to keep your hands free, you can use your foot to scan. We've got a USB cable, finger cots for book scanning. Find out what that is in a minute. We've also got in here a side light. The scanner itself, it's finished in this upright pole is made of metal. You've got a rubberized coating on it. I can see Erin's already unboxed it because there's some of her greasy fingerprints on it again. So this scanner is made by a company called CZUR. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's CZUR. There's a couple of different models with different lightings and different accessories that you can get. And they sent this over to me without charge, but I only accepted it on the basis that I would be able to give my honest opinion and that I would retain full editorial control of the video. And you might be thinking to yourself, who's going to use a book scanner? And I do agree, it is quite a niche product, but it is a real problem. Have you ever tried scanning a book? It can be quite difficult, especially if it's a paperback. Or if the book is valuable, you don't want to push it flat onto a scan bed. It can be quite difficult to hold the pages and take photos with your mobile phone. So I do think there is a market for this, however niche it is. And I was very interested to try it because CZUR told me that they've got software that runs on the M1 Mac. So we're going to pair it up with the M1 Mac Mini and we're going to scan some books and see how we get on. Okay, so we've got the table turned around here. I've set up the Mac Mini with a monitor. I'm on CZUR's website ready to download the software. And we've set up the scanner and unpacked everything. We've got this nice black mat, and you notice it's got a cutout there at the top. I don't know how well you can see that. And that slides neatly under the scanner base itself. Now, this particular scanner is the model ET16 Plus. And I asked Erin to go and find me a book, and she returned with Gavin Kennedy's The New Negotiating Edge. And then she set it up on the pad here, opened it up on the page, applying the Hooker's Principle. So we're ready to scan something about the Hooker's Principle. I know nothing about this. I don't even know where this book came from. What we're going to do next is download the software. So I have to say that the process of downloading the software isn't as straightforward as it could be. When we go onto the website, click on Support here, it takes me through to a list of the products, so I select the ET16 Plus, and what I get on that page is all of the instructions for the product. Over then on the left hand side there's a download the product software link, so I click on that, it scrolls me down the page to where there is a link but it's not clickable, so I need to actually copy and paste that into a new browser window, I suppose. And now we're on the .com site, so I wonder if that's just a product of using the UK site, but that could be made a bit more user-friendly. So then we've got a scanner for Mac. Let's download that from the European servers. There we go. And the software is just under 1 GB for download. I've just started up the software, and now it's asking me for a serial number, which apparently is on the bottom of the scanner. So I need to try and read that and not destroy everything in the process. So we've got the serial number, and I just noticed from picking up the scanner that rubberized coating does indeed pick up fingerprints very quickly. And we've got two modes here. We've got scanner mode and visual presenter. Now that's an interesting thing. I'm guessing that you can use this like you used to use an overhead projector. to show people what you're doing, and suddenly I'm seeing a lot more uses for this device if that is the case. I think it would also be useful for not just for scanning books. I think to call it a book scanner is probably really limiting its capability. I think it would be great for scanning artwork, the sort of things that you don't want to put onto a scanner flatbed, and that probably you won't get the right result using a mobile phone either. So I think this is a really interesting product. It's getting more interesting as we're getting into it. Let's try out the scanner mode first of all. So on the back of the scanner itself, we've got a USB port which allows you to attach either this button here for taking the snapshots, or we've got the foot switch as well. And there is also a button on the scanner itself for taking those pictures. And then we've got a USB Type B port, that's to connect up to the computer itself, and then we've got the power input and a power switch. So I've connected everything together. I guess time to press the power switch and see if it gets detected in the software. Nothing happens. So we seem to have fallen at the first hurdle here. The device isn't recognized by my M1 Mac Mini. And I just dug through the email exchange I had with CZUR, and what they said was it supports Mac. I just assumed that it would support the M1 Mac, but it doesn't. So what we're going to need to do is use an Intel Mac. And Erin does in fact have an Intel laptop, so we can give that a try. It is from about 1933 though, isn't it? It's not the fastest machine in the world, but we'll give it a go. Just before we do that, a couple more thoughts on the device itself. So on the base here, we've got a button to take the scan, we've got a zoom out and a zoom in button, and then we have a button to change the light intensity. Now when it comes to light intensity, of course, we've got this extra lighting because it's the ET16 Plus model. And this attaches magnetically to the back here, if I can do it. And then if we power it on, hopefully you can see that it generates quite an additional bit of light. I'd imagine if you were scanning any kind of documents, white documents, that's going to make a big difference to you. Also on the top of the device, we've got a little LCD screen, so we can actually preview what the scanner is seeing. Have you got that laptop, Erin? Thanks. So I've disinfected Erin's laptop, and we've got this book very nicely lit under the scanner, and as you can see from the screen, whatever we do here, the software is picking it up, and at the moment it defaults into single page mode and color. So I'm going to change it because the book is grayscale, and we probably want to do the facing pages. Okay, and what you'll see now is that we've got this line running down the center of the screen, so to help us line up the book, which we can do like that, and we're all ready to take our scan. They do provide these devices for your fingers to help you stretch out the pages. In some of the other models you get an actual book stand, but with this one you get these devices, and the idea is they've got a sort of rubber underside to them. You just place it 90 degrees to the page, just stretch the page out like that, and we're ready to take the scan. Obviously this is where the foot switch is going to come in useful. Or you can switch on auto scan on the software on the Mac. If I just spread out the page here, the idea is that the software is going to edit out these yellow things. Now what is quite cool, these devices that I thought were sensors back here are actually sending out red lines.
Frickin' laser beam!
There are 3 red lines that get put onto the page, which is obviously helping the software to line up the book. Because we've done the facing pages mode, what we've now got is 2 documents, one of each page. And you can see that the software has done a pretty good job of taking out the curvature of the book here. It's also done a pretty good job of taking out these yellow things, although if you've got a keen eye, you will be able to see where they were. You'd need to obviously be careful that you're not covering up text with these things when you use it. Let's just try out that auto scan mode as well. So if I switch that on, turn the page, I'll put my devices on again, and sure enough it's automatically scanned the page. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I'm not sure how it does the timing on that, but it does seem to work very well. So if you had a lot of pages to scan, you could sit here and automatically scan them like that, or of course you can use the foot switch. So it's easy to see how scanning different documents of different sizes would actually be very easy on this. So if I just turn the book like this, you'll notice that the software, the bounding box is recognizing what we've got here. And sure enough, it will then straighten up the scan. So that does make life really easy if you've got documents to scan. And I have to say, the quality of the scan here, it looks really good. I'm just going to zoom right in. That does look really good to me. It's a really good quality scan. It would work really well if you were going to do optical character recognition as well, if you needed to get a scan and convert into text. Now obviously, people are probably not going to sit here and scan an entire book, and you wouldn't really be able to do that anyway because there are copyright issues. But I can see this being quite valuable if there are certain pages that you need to scan out of a book and you just want to get those pages, or out of any kind of document really. So you can see from the screen grabs that we've got here that there are lots of different options here in the settings, so you can get your scan just exactly how you want it. Now you'll notice too there's the OCR option, so I'm just going to select a file over here on the right hand side, and let's have a go at exporting that one out to Word. We select our language, so I'm pretty sure it's English. Let's save that one. Got a little box saying we're performing the tasks. Okay, let's have a look at the document. So just realized Erin's laptop doesn't actually have the software version of Microsoft Word installed, but nonetheless, your Mac can open that document, and we can see that the text is actually pretty accurate. That looks really good. Back when I was at school many years ago, we had overhead projectors where the teacher would write on a plastic sheet and that would get projected onto a screen. But this is exactly the same principle. A teacher could use this to demonstrate to a class. She could have a textbook. In fact, let's do it now. In the software, there's an option for visual presenter mode. So if we just press on that and then hit the display button, it'll find the device, and here we are. So if you've got this device then connected to a computer, in turn connected to a projector, the whole class can see what we're doing here with our textbook. Now, I did say at the outset it is a very niche product, although as I've been using it, I'm sort of expanding my ideas of the possibilities of this thing. I think it's very well made, and it looks nice, it looks the part, and it delivers great results. Of course, with any piece of hardware, when you've got a piece of software that goes with it, that needs to perform as well. And in our testing, the software works really well. I like the quality of the scans that we're getting out of this. I know you can get scans with your mobile phone, but it's having the consistent lighting and other things. It's just going to give you a better quality of scan. I guess the only problem with the software is that it didn't work on the M1 Mac, and maybe I did something wrong, or maybe that's just support that will be coming in the future. So I'm very grateful to CZUR for sending this over to have a look. It's not something I would have ever known existed or looked for or gone and bought unless someone had shown it to me, and so I'm really grateful to have the chance to play with it. And I'm sure there are some people out there who are going to see this and think, that can do a job for me. If so, let me put the pricing information up on the screen here, and in the description there's some links if you want to go and get one of these for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the video here. Thanks in advance for all of your subscriptions, all of your likes or dislikes, and your shares. Really appreciate it. See you again next time for some more geekery.